Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sentinel Sports Extra Cleveland Guardians Weekly Recap. The Guardians are now 9-7. They just lost their first series of the season as the game went final not too long ago in Atlanta. Tough night there in Atlanta. We'll get to that. But before we get to that, we want to tell everyone that this show is brought to you by CT Roofing and Power Wash, the official roofer of the Lake County Sentinel. They can help you with your roofing needs, your siding needs. They will give you a free estimate. They can help you with file an insurance claim. They also, power wash. They can power wash your house, your drive, your stairs, your deck. They can help you rebuild your deck. So there's lots of things they can do. Call them at 440-278-0506. You will not be sorry. So the Guardians are currently 9-7. They still have the best record in the American League. They're now tied for first place, believe it or not, with the hapless Minnesota Twins. But they are 9-7 and tied for first place. This past week they went 3-3. I predicted that they would go 2-4. So once again I was wrong, and it was a positive thing that I was wrong. So that's a good thing. But to recap the week. The week, of course, began on Monday, right? It did. And the Guardians played the Royals on Monday, game one of the series. The Royals won that game 4-2. But Tanner Bibee did pitch well in that game. But obviously, we can't get two good performances out of him in a week. After tonight, we saw that, but he pitched well on Monday, gave up only one run. The bullpen, gave up 3 runs in that game, and Peyton Pallett took the loss in game one of that series. Game two, which was moved up to 1:10 p.m. due to cold weather. By the way, the high school coaching staff, I'm on the Wickwood Blue Devils. We played at 5 o'clock that day, and we were fine. But they moved it up due to cold weather. The game was tied 1-1 heading into the bottom of the 9th. CJ Kafis was on second. Bo Naylor was on first. And Brian Rocchio singled and drove in Kafis, and the Guardians had their first walk-off win of the season. Cade Smith picked up his first win. Gavin Williams pitched well. He pitched really good again. 5 1/3 innings, allowing only 1 hit. He issued 5 walks, though. That's still concerning, but he struck out 8. Game 3 of the series was also at 1:10, and that was on Wednesday. The Guardians, this game was not close. The Guardians routed the Royals 10-2. Anel Martinez had a big day, went 4 for 5. They had 2 singles, a double, and a home run, driving in 4 runs on the day. Joey Cantillo picked up the win, improving to 1-0. He scattered 3 hits through the 5, I believe it was 6 innings he pitched. And he struck out 9 while issuing only 2 walks. And then they had the day off on Thursday for travel. They went down to Atlanta to face the Braves. I mean, the Braves are good people. Okay. They lost now. They lost the series to them after tonight. They dropped the series 2-1. But this isn't just a good team. This is a really good Atlanta Braves team. I mean, in a 7-game series, could the Guardians beat them? Maybe. Maybe we'll find out at the end of the year. But in this 3-game series, the Braves were the better team. And they were. They can hit the crap out of the ball. They just can. There's really no weaknesses in their order, and there hasn't been for decades. All right, so they won game 1, 11-5, the Braves did. Slade Ciccone, he was good through 5, and then he absolutely collapsed like a folding table in the 6th inning, and he was knocked out of the game. He gave up 5 runs. The Braves scored 6 in that 6th inning, and it was ugly. It was good for the Braves fans, bad for the Guardians fans. The bullpen gave up 5 runs in 2 2/3 innings. The only good news in that game was Kyle Manzardo broke out of his slump and hit a solo home run. So that was good. That he got over off the interstate and was hitting 105 after that game. Game 2, the Guardians shut out the Braves. So it wasn't good for Braves fans. The Guardians shut them out. 6-0. Parker Messick moved to 3-0 as he allowed just 4 hits against that lineup. Walked 2 and struck out 5 in 6 2/3 innings. Jose Ramirez hit his 2nd home run of the season in that game with the home run. That was Saturday night. He has now hit a home run against all 29 major league teams that he has faced, becoming the first Cleveland player to do so. So no other Cleveland player has a home run against 29 different teams. So congratulations, Jose Ramirez, future Cooperstown member. Chase DeLauter and Martinez both had doubles in the game. Ramirez, Hoskins, and Schneemann all had RBIs in the win. So that was good on Saturday night. Well, Sunday night was not so good. Tonight was ugly. The team lost 13-1. As I said before, the Braves have a great lineup. One positive was Rhys Hoskins hit his first home run of the year, which was good. He's on pace to have 10. We need him to hit 20 to 25 at least. So hopefully he picks it up now. But here's some of the stuff here. Bybee went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 11 hits. 9 base runners. He struck out only 4, gave up a home run. He always seems to give up a home run that is costly. And it was a 2-run shot to Dominic Smith in the 4th inning. And it pretty much sealed things there. You just knew the Guardians weren't going to hit. They're facing Chris Sale. He went 6 innings. He gave up 1 run on 8 hits. He scattered 8 hits. Guardians had chances. They just couldn't take advantage of them. Kobe Allard wasn't really any better than Tanner Bybee. He pitched 3 innings. He gave up 5 earned runs, 5 runs, all earned. And Austin Hedges finished the game pitching a 1/3 of an inning. So it just wasn't a good game. Hits offensive-wise for the Guardians, they did have 9 hits. So, they hit 250 in the game, but that's not good enough when you don't get guys in. At this point, they have 2 guys over 300, Angel Martinez and Chase DeLauter. Martinez at 310, DeLauter at 300. DeLauter's OPS is still over 1,000 at 1,059. And Martinez is at 835. It just wasn't a night. Jose's still hit 180, but he's getting a little I think he's going to catch on. I think by the end of this week, we're going to be saying Jose's on fire. He's 1 for 4 tonight. He's raised his average to 180. From what I heard today, George Valera is close. They're just building him up. I feel like, unfortunately, CJ Capus will probably be the guy that goes down when they bring up Valera. But then I feel that outfield's going to be solidified. Valera, Kwan, Delauder every day. So, that's what I think is going to happen. Let's just put tonight out of the way. It's over. They lost. It only counts as one loss, people. So it's not like it's worse than that. The only thing is the plus minus run differential is now -9 for the Guardians. But now we move on. Let's not have the Guardians be on national TV anymore, or at least for a while, because they are terrible on national TV. They get bombed when they're on national TV. We were on national TV in Seattle on Sunday night, got bombed. National TV tonight against Atlanta, got bombed. So I'm thinking we could do without being on national TV. Let's just be on Guardians TV and rack up the wins. So next week, starting tomorrow, Guardians will be in St. Louis for 3. And then they'll come home for 4 with the Orioles. But the 3 in St. Louis, Monday night at 7:45. Gavin Williams, 1-1 with a 2.04 ERA, will take on lefty Matthew Liberatore. He has no record, but a 3.38 ERA. He's pitched well. I had him on a couple of my fantasy teams. So he's a good pitcher. So they're facing another good pitcher. They haven't faced a guy who isn't a good pitcher yet. That's Monday night. Then Tuesday night will again be 7:45 from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The St. Louis organization. Joey Cantillo will be on the mound for the Guardians. He's looked good so far. He's 1-0 with a 2.45 earned run average. And he'll be facing right-hander Michael McGreevy, who is 1-1 with a 2.16 ERA. So there's some good ERAs in this series. And then on Wednesday, the finale of the series, 7:45, that game will be 1:15. I'm sorry. Slade Ciccone, 0-2 with a 5.74 ERA, will take on right-hander Dustin May, who has struggled, but he's good, a 9.45 earned run average. And then the team will come home for a 4-game set with the Orioles, coached by their new manager and former bench coach for the Guardians, the man I have complete and total disdain for, Craig Albernays. And from what I understand from sources, the organization was not too upset when he got the Orioles job. He served as a bench coach the last 2 years. I knew him before he got to Cleveland when he was a minor league manager. And you will never hear me say anything positive about Craig Albernays. But so the Guardians will take on his team starting Thursday night in Cleveland. The Orioles, they are now tied for first place in the AL East. We do not know their pitchers. Genius Craig will probably try to surprise the Guardians because he's the smartest guy that ever lived. If he was, he thinks he's the smartest guy that ever lived. But if we're judging by height, he is one of the dumbest people that ever lived because he is shorter than me. And let me tell you something. There are good reasons to dislike this man. So, but I will stop ranting about my dislike for Craig Albernays. But so the pitching rotation to me for that series looks like it would be Parker Messick at 6:10 on Thursday, Tanner Bybee at 6:10 on Friday. Saturday would be Gavin Williams at 6:10, and Sunday would be Joey Cantillo. So that would be the lineup for, I would think, against the Orioles, unless something changes. But I think that that should be the lineup. And then, Slade Ciccone would make the next start the next Monday. But that's pretty much it. I'm going to give my prediction. They got 7 games this week. They do. They have 7 games. So it's a busy week. You got to hope that the starters pitch well early in the week so you don't blow that bullpen out early. I think that's why you only use 2 pitchers tonight, and then use Hedges to get the final out, because you got 10 more games in a row coming up before you get an off day. So I'm going to predict that they go 4-3 this week. Probably take 2 in St. Louis and split with the Orioles. That's what I'm going to say. So a 4-3 week for the Guardians is what I am predicting. Will I be right? Probably not, because I've not been right once this year. So we'll see if I'm right when we meet next week on Sunday night. Hopefully at a little earlier hour, maybe like 8:30. But until next week, I hope everybody has a great week, and go Guardians.